Is a Trump win in 2024 good for the gold and silver price? Who knows? Use the time codes below to go straight to that part if you're watching it on the replay. But if you're watching live, you get to enjoy everything else here we do on Good Morning Stackers, including gold, silver, and platinum analysis, viewer shout-outs, viewer comments, question and answers, and everything else. So again, use the time codes if you want to go straight to that point. But get your comments in. Is Trump good for a gold and silver uptick after 2024 and beyond? But what first we do the synchronized slurp. Some of you love it, some of you actually don't. We'll talk about that in just a second as well. This is where you grab a tasty beverage, any beverage of choice, that's okay, and we slurp it synchronously within the first 1 minute of the show. So here we go. In just a few seconds, grab your tasty beverage and we're going to slurp it. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Again, use the time codes below, but you're watching this live. So we do some viewer shout outs, we do gold silver price analysis, and then we talk about the topic of the day. Is Trump going to be good if he wins? Good for the prices of gold and silver. So pop your comments below, but I'll be coming back to those. Some people are liking the slurp. Most people love the synchronized slurp, and I've just had a couple of comments on the recent videos saying, "Slurp, come on now," or I love your commentary, but the slurp I don't like. I completely recognized that some people have that little ick with those kind of things. They're the little icks. So it's a calculated bet that like 90% of you are cool with the synchronized slurp. So that's why I included the slurp portion. You got to slurp it. My name is Joe Main. I have worked in the precious metals industry for 11 years in Australia. I've been a stacker for 14 years. So I love doing this show. So post comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Join the GMS family. Few quick shout outs, then we'll do gold, silver, platinum analysis. Then we'll go to the topic of the day. Is Trump good for gold and silver? Tony Peterson is in the house, and we're doing this a little bit, half an hour earlier today. Because we have to. So I'll get to the comments later on, but the shout outs. GMS says black coal, meaning good morning stackers. Fair enough. I'd rather have a secure, yeah, okay. Oh wow, I knew this topic would get going. And if you're watching this from Reddit, welcome to all the Reddit watchers. Jump on and please subscribe to the channel. We're in Melbourne in Australia. Tony Peterson says GMS. That means good morning stackers! ! Synchronized slurp. You got it this time. Good morning, Joe and chatters. Thank you, Tony. Mark Florida says, sorry, I never slurp my 15-year single malt whiskey. But each to their own. Mate, if it's 15-year single malt whiskey, you can do whatever the hell you want, mate. And question here, have I ever heard of Gail the Snail? No. Are you saying Mongo, that I'm too slow to get to the topic? If that's the case, then use the time codes after the fact. But we'll get to that. But we've got to do the gold, silver, platinum analysis, and then we get to the topic of the day. But if you weren't saying that, no, who's Gail the Snail? I'm not sure. Right, so fantastic. So we've done some shout outs. We're going to get straight into some gold, silver, platinum analysis. That's what we do every day here, every weekday. So let's share the screen. Oh, we don't want that. Of course, what I want to do, my apologies. What I want, that's that one. I don't want that one. I want over here. Of course, though, I've got to tell you, the Perth Bullion Exchange special of the day very quickly, because I am brand partnered with Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. They ship Australia-wide and in some cases for free if you buy over certain quantities. It's the first company in Australia to offer free shipping. All you international people, you Yankees over there in the US, if you're watching, Mark Florida man, are used to buying from AppMex or buying from SD Bullion or all those other ones and getting free shipping if you spend over a certain amount. That's never been done before in Australia until Perth Bullion Exchange started it when they launched just at the start of this month. So buy over a certain amount, but here's today's special. It is 1 ounce generic Buffalo silver rounds, 24-hour special, $1 off their normal spot price, which is actually, it was going to be, I think, $5.50 over spot, but now it's only $4.50 over spot, Australian dollars, international people. We've got to take that into account. So 53, no, let me, hang on. let me refresh that because it could be different. Yeah, no, that's right. 53.40 as of right now. Fantastic. So buy those, buy over a certain amount, buy 20 or more, and you get free shipping, free express shipping, Australia-wide. Doesn't matter where you are. So if Perth Bullion Exchange have to cop that extra charge for the moment, they just cop that extra charge, because it's free. So it doesn't matter if you're regional, wherever. So that's it. That's the plug. We're going to go straight to the gold price. Here we are. So gold we talked about yesterday, the fact that I thought that 2,400 would be a significant area of resistance. Why? Because it is the 0.786 Fibonacci, like basically bang on, from this high and this low right here. And it was at around about, do I have to move that? Let me see how close. That's 23.0. Yeah, 23.98, and I was saying 2,400. Was close. I'll just see my shiny forehead right there. So I was saying it can be an area of resistance, particularly the 786. After you have a peak and then you have a low point, you can find the 0.786 to be an area of resistance. We did. For me, it's the final hurdle for new all-time highs coming soon. I think we'll get new all-time highs eventually, but in order for this little pump to continue in the next few weeks and months, I've got to see it break and hold 2,400. And then onwards and upwards. And we have seen that little resistance point. Interestingly, and this is why I love Fibonacci. Fibonacci for me is so incredibly predictive for the precious metals prices in particular. Take a look at this. We'd drawn this in. This hadn't happened yet. This is on the 4-hour time frame. So overnight, we had a pump up to the 2,400 level right there. That's the 0.786 Fibonacci from this high and this low. And then I was suggesting that a support level might be at the 618 level, which was at around about 2,370 US dollars. And what do you know? We found, at least on the 4-hour time frame, we found a couple of times we found support around that 2370. That is because, in my humble opinion, Fibonacci is very predictive. Why is it predictive? It's predictive because it's mass psychology. Enough people, and whether that's general traders or it's obviously going to be the big players, believe that Fibonacci is predictive, so then they place their trades accordingly, so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Hope that makes sense. That's why I find it to be very predictive for gold and silver in short time frames and over the longer time frames as well. And you saw that yesterday when I did that big silver 1980, 1993 top and low for the Fibonacci, and see how it's quite predictive. So predictive on small time frames and on high time frames, seeing that support, got a break over 2,400, breaking down the 2370 level. You'd be looking at, you don't want to see it go any lower than this downtrend line right here. A retest of it is healthy, but you don't want to see it break below, I'd say, that 2350 level. For me, breaking through 2350, which is the bottom of this purple box right here, breaking through there, look, you could see a quick spike down, as long as it's a quick spike, at least maybe on the daily time frame. As long as we hold above 2350 on the weekly time frame, then it'd be like, okay, quick little test, that's fine. But breaking and holding below 2350 on the weekly, that ain't good. So we would expect lower prices to come from there, but we're not in that area yet, and we're just in a trading range. So there you go. That's gold, trading range, final hurdle, lower prices, bingo, bango, bongo. Let's go straight to silver. I'm going to power through this because I want to get your opinion on whether Trump's going to be good or bad for gold and silver, if he wins, that is, in 2024. You can add that discussion too, if you want, if he does, if he doesn't. That kind of thing. Get your comments in and I will read those out very, very soon. Here is silver. I posted on the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum earlier. This is the premier private Facebook group for stackers in Australia. Must break and hold. Meanwhile, silver looking good for higher, meaning gold to silver ratio to drop under 80 would be an awesome sign. Yes, it would. So silver, I posited yesterday, didn't I actually said this yesterday on the show that, a scenario could be that gold continues to range and silver, we might find resistance at 2,400 and silver continues its pump. Therefore, the gold to silver ratio goes down. What are we seeing? It looks like that's quite possible. You've just got to get over this hurdle right here. $29.70 US cents. We're using the tradingview.com website, by the way. and we just got to get over this. So we're not there yet, but it's looking positive. We just have to get over this little double top here. I don't think it's going to be a double top, but we've got to get over this little $29.90, $30 area. Once we break that, we're going to be making a play for the final hurdle, which is 31 US dollars. That's my personal final hurdle. If you're new to the channel, we've got about 10 new subscribers overnight, I think. Welcome. We're nearly at 200 subscribers within the first month of creating the show. $31 is my final hurdle. Needs to break above, hold above for preferably 2 months, preferably, but definitely hold above and close above on a monthly time frame. And then I'm like, it's on 100%, no doubt whatsoever. I'm 99% there, as I've been saying. Breaking and holding $31 on a monthly time frame, closing above it, tells me there's no doubt anymore. You know, I'm pretty almost there, just like that little extra 1%. So this is why you're seeing at the moment the gold to silver ratio dropping like a stone, and we're coming down very close to this very crucial 80 level right there. As I've said yesterday and the last number of days, closing below 80 on a weekly, I would say, or definitely monthly, but even weekly time frame, closing below it for the market for the week would signify that silver is going to continue its outperformingness against gold. So I'll show you this on the weekly time frame, and look at that. That is just amazing for the beautiful shiny that we love. So look at that, just silver really taking its time in the sun at the moment. It is just around that support level, so just do keep that in mind. Going back to silver quickly, this is silver on the weekly time frame. And it's looking really positive. I don't see any reason why we come down from here. Look at this on the weekly. It's just really clean. Excuse me. I don't think it's going to be a double top here on the weekly. I don't think we'll close at this area or below. I think we'll have a little spike above, and I think we might even potentially test the final hurdle of $31 this week. You never know. And then I would expect maybe a little spike to there, quite potentially. On the weekly time frame, on the relative strength index, relative strength index on the weekly, we are, excuse me, let me do that and let me do that. On the weekly, we are moving in the upward direction. That's great to see. The average is moving up. Really good to see. That yellow line is the average of the relative strength index on the weekly time frame. So that's great to see. And we're starting to head back into overbought territory on the weekly time frame. That's not anything to be concerned about, because on the weekly time frame, you can spend many weeks in extremely overbought, and the price can pump a hell of a lot more before you see some kind of peak on the relative strength index. On the weekly, they always do peak and then come back down. They always visit extremely overbought to extremely oversold. So it will have a peak, obviously, prices go up and down. But we're nowhere near, in my opinion, that peak just yet. So we've got room to move, baby. The thing I would need to watch out for is that this isn't just a little fake out here, and that we find resistance around about that 70 mark. But it's looking good so far. And that is, no, I'll keep going for silver for just quickly. Let me move this, and then we'll get to the topic of the day. You're all itching to talk about it. You've got all your comments going on. It's just looking really good so far for silver against gold. So that's why you're seeing that ratio drop. Well, look at it, just going down to that 80 level. I'm going to be pumped when it closes below. What would negate that? Yesterday I said we don't want to see it close below $28.40. Same thing again. So here's your resistance level at 31. That's your next resistance level, breaking the potential to break the final hurdle for me, and your support level there is 28.40. Breaking and holding below 28.40 on a weekly time frame, that's not good. I'd say we're going down further. So we're just in a trading range at the moment. That is silver. Here is platinum. I am sailing through it because I want to get to this Trump thing. Again, leave your comments below. We have come up to that area which I told you about, around about that $1,070 mark. We did find it at rough resistance. We closed below it on the daily time frame. So as I said with platinum, it'll start to get me excited once it's above this downtrend line, which it is. But you've just got this little area which I mentioned of $1,070. So we really want to see it bounce off here at about 1,040, a support level of 1,040, and then it move back up to here tells me, oh, holy moly, we are going to make a play for the final hurdle, which is 1,115 US dollars right there, breaking that and holding that and on our way up. That's 100% confirmed bull market for me for platinum for a good bit of time, at least a few months, but probably longer than that. Let me show you on the weekly time frame. Looking good on the weekly, that little spike right there. Looking good on the weekly relative strength index up there. Got lots of room to move to get into extremely overbought, so you can spend many, many weeks. So we've got these other resistance levels, but we won't talk about those until we break the final hurdle. And platinum, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. We just need to hold that support at 1,040. If we don't, we're coming back down to this level. So the next support level after that would be 990. So support levels, 1,040 US dollars. Breaking that, 990 US dollars. And breaking above 1,115, well, we'll talk about that if and when we get there. That has been your very quick today price analysis. We're going to go to get some comments, some shout outs, and then we're going to talk about the good old Trump thing. Quickly, if you want to send me an email, gmstackers@gmail.com. Do you have anything you want to send me in terms of, hey, I just found this at a coin market. Look at this awesome coin I just found. Send me pictures. I'll do your show and tell. Sometimes I do show and tell of my own stuff. I did that one yesterday, a 1966 Australian 50-cent round. I've done lots of other stuff. The 2-ounce goose coin from the Royal Canadian Mint, still have that sitting on the desk. But if you want to do your own show and tell, I'll give your show and tell a shout out. So send me an email at gmstackers. All right, you impatient people, you have clicked the time code. We are going to discuss, is Trump good? Is a Trump win? So first off, does he win? But is a Trump win good for gold and silver? I'm going to put that, of course, then naturally, that's just going to, there we go, I'm going to put that on silent. Is Trump good? Is a Trump win good for gold and silver? I can see so many different ways. And my honest answer is I'm not sure. And that's why I wanted your comments below. So I'm going to read out a bunch of your comments and we're just going to discuss it live. I can see a bunch of different scenarios. So we'll read out your comments and then I'll give my final thoughts. And I'm really wanting to learn from you what your thoughts are about this. So let's go and read the comments. There's pros and cons for both. Number one, Trump would have to win? That's up to, I don't know who that's up to in particular. It's looking from the poll-wise, it's looking positive. But then, could stuff happen? I don't know. I don't have any solid proof that stuff happened in the previous election. But, if you just use logic. Now, this is the point where the live stream gets turned off or magically gets deboosted by YouTube. Something tells me. Gee, I wonder why. I'm going to read out all your comments now. Here we go. David Williams was the first one to say, he thinks David Williams probably not good for the metals as he will rescue the US dollar. Good in every other way though. So that is one of the first thoughts I have. One of the first scenarios is if Trump wins and if the interference which would come from the other side to do anything to make the economy crash, to do anything to make it look bad for Trump economically, if that doesn't occur and that stuff doesn't work, and if Trump wins and it's just like in, from 2016 to 2020, record low unemployment, economy booming, all that sort of stuff, before, what happened in March of 2020, then yeah, I could actually see how it wouldn't be good for the price of precious metals. This is the funny thing. It's 6 of one. It's a double-edged sword. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If you want Trump to win, you would want him to win and then do a really good job for the economy that lifts everyone. A rising tide raises all ships. But then that creates a more risk-on situation. So people are willing to go into more risk-on assets. And precious metals are generally a risk-off asset. It's a safe haven when people think things aren't going to go well. So in this scenario, David Williams, you would be correct. If Trump wins, if all the attempted manipulation to make it a bad presidency for him, so tank the market. If that doesn't work and he does what he says he's going to do and the economy goes really, really well, yeah, then I would see the precious metals stagnate or even go down. But then you have to factor, well, a good economy is good for everyone. Good U.S. economy is great for everyone, raises all the ships, and so that would shine well on Australia too. So you might be having a larger pay rise or something in the economy. Prices might go down, inflation might go down. So you've got to balance that up, and that's why precious metals are a great insurance policy, because where the economy goes, gold and silver tend to go in the opposite direction. So it's a great point. But I'll read some other comments because some people might have rebutted that. So let's see what Mark Florida man, Mark Florida, the Floridian Florida man says, "G'day to all." G'day, Mark Florida man. And Trump in 2024 could be good for gold and silver. But what I hope is the good part will be a diminution of spot if the US economy turns around. There we go. So he's saying the same thing. Simply because elections in 2028? Right, okay. So similar thing. So basically, with a diminution of spot, yep, diminution, if the economy turns around, correct. If the economy turns around, people go less risk off, they go more risk on, gold would go down. But again, it's a double-edged sword because, everything else in your life might be going better. So that's why you have gold and silver as an insurance policy. If you're buying gold, let me say this personally, if you're buying gold and silver because you absolutely 100% think you're going to get incredibly rich from it, I would suggest maybe just having a portion of your portfolio in precious metals, because that might not necessarily happen. I've been in this game for 14 years and in the bullion industry, so as well for 11. So I recognize, and back in the day, I was thinking, man, I'm going to buy silver and it's going to go to the moon because of blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to really increase my wealth. And more so in the last number of years, it's like, well, will that happen? I don't know, but it's an insurance policy and it might maintain the wealth I currently have, or it might increase my wealth relatively to everyone else. So, for example, in an economic crash scenario, which many people might be talking about in just a second, economic crash scenario, everyone who doesn't have gold and silver, their wealth is going down further than you and me because we maintain the wealth that we currently have. But if everyone else's is going down and we've maintained our wealth level, we're actually looking more wealthy by everyone else relatively, if that means. So our relative wealth is going up compared to everyone else. So let's see. Mongo says, I'd rather have a secure border, secure elections, and a strong USD. Personally, I like my shiny, but what good does it do me if I live in an S-hole nation? Correct. What good would it do you? Great. You're the wealthiest person in your neighborhood, but everyone else is on the breadline. Okay. So that's good. You can still eat. Fantastic. Good on you. But again, why would you want to? That's true. So that's why gold and silver are it's insurance policies, in my opinion. But we want to hear other people's opinion because this could really go the other way. Gold and silver could fly. Mongo says, if you can fix the problems of America, I'd happily watch my stack reduce in value. Good trade in my eyes. That's a very great point. I agree with that. We're going through all your comments. Of course, you could be super awesome, recognize the USD as a failed fiat, and buck the bankers to return to a gold-backed USD. That would be great. There's been talk of that. He has said in the past that he loves gold. Have you seen his apartment? The man loves gold. Trump loves gold. And he has talked, not definitely. He said, a gold-backed currency, yeah, it could be a thing. So he's definitely not ruled it out. Or a partial gold-backed currency. So yeah, that could happen too. I want to get to the positives though, and as meaning we'll get to those. We'll get through all the comments. We'll get to why gold and silver could go up in a Trump presidency. Let's see. We'll get back to those comments. More like not when I convert. Yep, pricing, ads in shipping, blah blah blah. We'll get back to all of those spot deals. Tony Pearson says, I presume Americans pay more. This is just for Thingo Ruse. I'm getting to all your other ones because I was doing the gold silver analysis. Give me a second. Are we here from DGen? Quickly. Are we all here from Silver DGen Club? I think you might be. Good on you, Mongo. Great to see you from the Reddit things. Okay. I don't know if I can say that out loud. And I actually can't. So you're going to read, so blah, blah, blah. So blah, blah, election in 2020. So I really doubt he wins this time. Of course, he will win, but rather it is accepted. It is up for debate. It didn't count in 2020. Okay. So that's the first one. Will he? Will he win? We're just basing this on yes, he does. And there's no chicanery as such. Black Coal says, Trump is good for world peace, causes fear in bad foreign powers. If that's bad for PMs, then so be it. It's very interesting, this talk is really good. A lot of you are taking the high road on this, which is great to see. So it's like, well, if Trump's good for the economy, it's good for everyone. And if that, nixes if I don't make $1 billion with my gold and silver investment, you know what? It's gonna go up on the other side of things. Better for the economy, more jobs, all that stuff. Then so be it. There we go. And a lower price entry point would be nice. We're going to talk about the positives for gold and silver in just a second. He already did that one, and they're so. All right, we're going to looking for the Trump ones. Here we go. iPhone. Okay. David Williams says, they can't blah blah enough to overcome the tsunami. People I listen to, a lot of like political people and stuff like that from the US, believe that the magic numbers are round about. Some people are saying 10%, but that's probably not enough. Probably has to be closer to 15 to 20% clear margin of win to negate any, so for example, if Biden were to win, and the polls were saying, Trump's got it with a 15 to 20 point margin, that's landslide victory. And so if Biden were to win that, it's too much to do that thing that you mentioned there, because no one would find it credible. A 15 to 20 point lead going into the day before election. Although having said that, although this was just one poll, but having said that, do you remember in 2016 when Clinton, you saw that? Do everyone remember that graph? The New York Times poll graph was like this: Clinton to win, Trump to lose, and then on the day of the election, it went like that. It was very amazing to see. David Williams, Mongo says to David Williams, I hope you're right. I think they tried with Hillary and learned a lot. I don't think they'll make the same mistake again. So I'll pop that off for a second. And let's talk about the reasons why gold and silver might be good for precious metals if Trump were to win. And I can see a case for it being good for gold, no matter good for gold if he wins, no matter what. But we'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, one of the obvious ones is it would be good for gold and silver if Trump wins, because the other side, you can absolutely bet, would be trying to do everything they can within that next 4 years to absolutely tank the economy. They would try their best, in my humble opinion. I don't think the people in power care too much. The people in power at the moment don't care too much if people go starving on the streets. That's just my opinion on that. You can have your own opinion. I don't think they care too much. I think they would rather get back in power in 2028. So they would do absolutely everything. You can see what they're doing right now when Trump is not even elected, but it's looking positive with all the lawfare, all the Trump in court, all that. I'm saying this Trump word, this is going to get so banned, this particular video, I reckon. But look what they're trying to do right now. Look how hard they are working to make sure that he doesn't win or is not even eligible to be in. They're trying to put him in jail, for God's sake. So what do you think they're going to do if Trump wins? What do you think they're going to do in the next 4 years? They're going to do everything they can to tank the economy, in my humble opinion. So that's why that's a potential positive for gold and silver prices. Not talking about the economy itself, but if they tank the economy, then people go risk off, safe haven assets. Gold, silver would probably go quite high. After the initial scare, like GFC, gold went down, silver went down, but then, you know, the rally after that. So people would go risk off, and then gold and silver as a safe haven. So I think that would be the positive case for being good for gold and silver. And I had it, and it's not in my head right now, but there was another reason why, and you can post a comment below, another reason why, the opposite reason why gold could still go up in a Trump presidency. I think that was the reason why. I was saying in a Trump win, it could still go up. So I was saying if Trump, this is what I was saying. Thank you for your patience. Gold could go up in whether Trump wins or Biden wins, it's good for gold. That was the point I was going to potentially make, is that it's probably good for gold and silver no matter what. There's a case to be made for that. Again, because if Biden wins, then I think the economy is completely done and dusted. I think if it just continues to go where it's going, then I think just a pure Biden win, people are going to go, uh-oh, risk off more, and they'll clamor more into gold and silver. But if Trump wins, again, the other side is going to try and tank the economy. And if they are successful, then that's good for gold and silver. So there is a case to be made that no matter who wins, it's a good case for gold and silver. But then they've got the if Trump wins, it could be good for gold and silver because they try to tank the economy, and then that's looking risk off, and so economy tanks and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the other scenario that, which all of you are saying, which is so lovely to hear, that, you know what, I think I'd rather have a Trump win and the economy and everyone can eat and the middle class are good and it's lifting up the poor and all that sort of stuff. It's good for everyone, great for unemployment. So I love the fact that you're saying, you know what, I don't care if my gold and silver stack don't go through the roof. I don't care if they go down a bit. I'm just dollar cost averaging. I'm just buying for the future, and I'm buying for my children. You know what I'm doing? I'm buying for my kids. This is not necessarily for me so I can live in a big mansion and all that. I don't think that would ever happen with gold and silver necessarily. If at the point where gold and silver is buying me a giant mansion, what's the rest of the world doing? It's not going to be great for the rest of the world. So I love the fact that you all have some empathy for the rest of the world. This is so positive to see. So a lot of you are saying, it'd be great for a Trump win, good for the economy. I don't care if my stack goes down. That's great. And what a great empathetic opinion to have. So these are kind of the scenarios we've talked about. Scenario for gold to go up or silver to go up no matter whether Trump wins or doesn't win because of the reasons I just mentioned. But yeah, potential to go down. But the positives would be a very positive US economy, which is positive for the rest of the world. You know, no new wars. How lovely would that be? Would you like no new wars between 2024 to 2028? That'd be nice. How about the ending of wars that are currently happening? Screw it, whatever. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. If Trump gets in, Ukraine war done within the first month. That's over. If it's probably, and you might even see the Ukraine war start to come to a resolution before Trump wins, if Trump was looking like that 15 to 20 point margin. It's like, well, we just better do it now under the Biden presidency so that we can't claim that peace was made during the Trump presidency. So it's just even the whiff of a legitimate Trump presidency would scare the absolute hell out of people, the bad people, and they try and fix a whole bunch of stuff to make it look good for them before Trump got in, so they wouldn't give him the credit. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go to your comments now. That has been, is Trump good for gold and silver? Short answer is don't know, but here's some reasons for yes, and here's a reason, but an empathetic reason for no. So that's interesting. So David Williams says, no one finds that credible. I don't at all. Mongo says, blah, blah, look at the state of the US. We're afraid to talk. Could you imagine this being reality when you were a kid? Nope. Shocking to me, but I'm old. I'm fitty. Oh, like tree fitty. You're fitty. Mate, I'm only a few years off you. No, I love it. Make it spicy, mate. Sorry I'm making your chat so spicy. I love spicy, so good on you. Let's see, GMS. G'day, Pete. Repeat GMS late due to the start of it. Sorry, I started early because I've got some stuff to do. Well, actually, the missus has stuff to do, so I've got to be around to take care of some kids. Red puppet, blue puppet, says Tony Peterson, but both held by the same set of hands. Let's talk about that for a second. That's potentially true. Potentially true. I do know that Tony Peterson is an avid watcher of Chris Dwayne and the Silver Shield series. I'm still a part of the Silver Shield group. So Chris Dwayne in particular, he's very, they're all puppets of the big people up the top and all that. So is Trump controlled opposition? Yeah, it could be. It's harder for me to say that these days. I would have believed that maybe 7 years ago. I don't know now. I wonder if he's the real deal and not controlled opposition. But yeah, I don't know. Right there. Mongo, yeah, your topic is triggering to YouTube stuff. Yeah, probably. There's probably someone just scouring, waiting for the keyword Trump on a YouTube title, and they're watching and they're just waiting to hit the whatever button. That is exactly why I would relish 4 more years to build the stack. Yeah. Imagine Trump winning. Risk on precious metals, just start ranging for a bit. 4 more years to build for your family. This is generational wealth. I'm going to be handing this down to my kids, most likely, He says to Tony Peterson, I have to question that. Honestly, I don't think Red Puppet planned on Trump. In fact, I recall 2016 vividly, and the GOP did not like Trump. They absolutely did not. We the people did. GOP did. The Never Trumpers, they did not like him, and they were calling him a complete joke, and then it was obvious at some point he was going to be the nominee, so they had to come on board. Any more comments? Trump, not one single war. Just saying. Black Coal says, and in Australia, if the ALP wins federally, just for international viewers, the ALP, this is going to be really confusing for you guys. The ALP is the Labor Party, which is the Democrats. So ALP, Democrats. And in Australia, if the ALP wins federally, then the Australian dollar will drop as our economy continues to weaken, and therefore gold in Australian dollars goes up. Yes, so if AUD weakens against the USD, that's good for our assets denominated in USD. Yes, so yeah, it really would if they were to win. But this is the thing though, Black Coal, do you want the ALP to win? Just like Biden could be very good for our precious metals holdings. Same thing, ALP could be good for our precious metals holdings denominated in Australian dollars, but do you want that? I don't know. Do you want it? I'm not saying you did want it, but you're just making the point that that would happen. And I do agree. Mongo says, I feel bad for you, Aussies, but I have cases of freedom pellets. Okay, yeah. So you have that going for you. That's a whole other topic. Don't feel too bad for us. Look, I would be feeling more bad for Canada. Oh, man. But Australia and Canada are, quite in lockstep. So, yeah, we don't have... Australia's never had free speech. America's the only one that's ever had free speech. And do you really still have a functional free speech at the moment? It's really hard to say that. So you have that going for you. Yeah, well, thanks for your preparations. We're going to do another video. Another topic coming soon will be about preparations, preppers, and that other kind of stuff. What else are you doing? Don't post comments now, but what else are you doing to, prepare for stuff? Do you have other insurance policies in place? Smart idea, right? And we'll talk about that soon. Mongo says, if Trump is controlled, I've been fooled. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe, and it could be the most grandiose fool. I'm with you on that, Mongo. If Trump's controlled, I've been fooled. It's a big bloody charade if all this lawfare and trying to literally put him in jail, if he's controlled, and he'd have to be a big puppet master. Big puppet master. Is this my thumbnail? Who knows? Is Trump? I am rethinking. Deleting more comments than I am clicking and sending on at the moment. That's right. This is great because it's a great discussion. Don't ever delete your comments because you might have just, even if something you said before negates something you said afterwards, that's all right. It's great to be wrong. It's great to have different thoughts. This is an open discussion, people. David Williams says, the right hates Trump almost as much as the left. Well, the never Trumpers do. I think that's what you mean. Let's see. I'm holding, blah, blah, blah. I won't mention that stuff. Mongo says, and we're coming towards the end of the show, so grab your tasty beverages because the comments are starting to wane. Grab your tasty beverage. We'll do the synchronized slurp for the last time, and then we've got to get out of here. Canada, I forgot about America's hat. I will save a few from them. Hazza says, GMS, I think we've come to the end of the show. I think that's it for your comments. If you want to get any last comments or queries in, let me know quickly. And I'll do a quick little bit of housekeeping. Of course, head over to perthbullion.com.au. Why? Because if you missed it at the start, Perth Bullion Exchange are my brand partner, my preferred dealer. I've worked for many of the major Australian bullion dealers, but right now, if I was to start a new business, this is exactly what I would be doing, including offering, click the button, Australia's first dealer to offer free shipping on all discount volumes. What the blazers. And they've got their special today on generic 1 ounce silver buffalo rounds. I do know for a fact that Ricky over there is working tirelessly to get even more range on there. A lot of the staples as well, he's looking at getting on. He's already got, Perth Mint 1 ounce silver bars and all that kind of stuff as well, but got some great Scottsdale products, so great sort of mid-range. And then he's also he's got these cheap ones. Look at this, $4.50 Australian over spot is ridiculous for brand new. They're not buybacks, they're brand new. And then you can buy them in the tubes and you get free shipping if you buy a tube or more. Buy 20 or more, free shipping. What the hell? That's just ridiculous. So that is some little bit of housekeeping. Of course, I'll keep you updated on the gold, silver, and platinum prices next week. We've got the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. All that stuff. Also, head over to Instagram.com/Ainslie Bullion. Oh, Ainslie. Jesus Christ. See, this is what I've told you. I've worked for so many dealers that I randomly go blah, 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 Bullion Now, blah, 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 Goldstackers, blah, 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 Ainslie. And I was trying to promote my own thing. Instagram.com/It's Joe Main. I've just, crazy. So forward, Instagram.com/It's Joe Main. Black Coal says, those particular Buffalo Silver rounds at Perth Bullion Exchange are my favorite version. They're great. So snap up a few now. If you don't want to buy a tube to get free shipping, just buy a small amount and put it in their free storage program. 3 months free storage. Or get free shipping if you buy or just go collect them in the store. They're in Perth. Mark Florida Man says, see ya, and thank you, Mongo. Thank you, Mongo, for jumping on. We appreciate it. Mongo says, oops. Awesome. So thank you so much. We appreciate it, Mongo. Share this around. So anyone watching this right now, share this video around, of course, and get people to like, share, and subscribe to the show. All right, grab your tasty beverage. And on the count of 3, we will do the synchronized slurp. 99% of you love it. Some people don't like the slurp. That means the majority wins. The GMS family wins the day for the Good Morning Stackers synchronized slurp. Here we go. In 3, 2. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Monday morning around about this time. Stay safe. Stay informed. Keep stacking. We'll see you next time.